thought Flasher had us that
Excuse me, Mr. Boss?
Wait, one sec. God damn it! Okay, go, what's up?
We just wanted to bring to your attention that... Should we be worried?
No, don't fret, young Pim. It's just a little bit of friendly competition.
Damn, 2023 is definitely shaping up to be a very interesting year in regards to video games. But regardless, welcome back, true believers and all you Merry Marvelites and even you DC fans out there, to another very interesting video, more of a laid-back discussion regarding this topic, but one that I did want to discuss about one way or another. However, I do find it rather strange for this particular news, considering at the time of this recording it is February 4th, which is a Friday. We have not heard an official statement coming directly from the developers at hand working on this game, confirming whether or not it has been officially delayed. But based on this recent report from known gaming insider, journalist, and overall leaker Jason Schreier, who is almost always accurate when it does come to his news reports for video games, I do heavily incline to believe that this is in fact real, and that, again, that this news is going to be announced hopefully sooner rather than later from this developer at hand. And of course, if you're someone who has no idea what I'm talking about, it was recently reported by Bloomberg that yes, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been delayed from releasing this year in 2022 to next year in 2023. However, as a bit of a bright side for those DC fans out there who were looking forward to playing at least one DC game this year in 2022, it is still supposedly confirmed that Gotham Knights is planned to release sometime this year in 2022, even though that game was also previously delayed from releasing in 2021 to now releasing in 2022. So I have no idea what is going on with Warner Brothers games handling these DC properties, but it is kind of, I would say, and eminently annoying that we have to keep waiting for major news of both of these titles to drop after huge gaps of silence and lack of info for both these projects has been more of an inconvenience than anything else. And mainly for the case of Suicide Squad, I would say that's actually more apparent than waiting for Gotham Knights, because if you do recall, Suicide Squad was initially revealed all the way back in DC Fandom of 2020 with a standard reveal trailer. A year later, we had to wait until the next DC Fandom in 2021 to receive a story trailer for the game. And of course, following that again even more at the very end of 2021 at the Game Awards, we got a gameplay trailer. Not a demo, not a full-on hands-on look of the game in action, but just a gameplay trailer showing snippets of what exactly each character looks like in terms of playing as them throughout the open world. Because again, yes, this is a single player and or multiplayer game depending on how you choose to approach it, that you can play with up to 4 other players. Also, you can explore an open world in Metropolis and fight against the Justice League that of course are being controlled by Brainiac, and you are playing as the main members of the Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn, King Shark, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang. For me personally, as more of a Marvel fan versus a DC fan, I'm obviously, of course, looking forward to Marvel's Spider-Man 2 with Miles, Peter, Venom, Kraven, and a bunch of other characters I'm sure are going to be in that game. Gonna totally blow the roof off of anything else, in my opinion, that is going to release that year. But still, for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, it is an interesting enough premise, playing as the villains instead of heroes to go and tackle against an evil threat with Brainiac, try and stop them, and just save the day by being bad guys. Sure, it's interesting, but for me, in my personal opinion, I've never really been fully hyped for this game. Now, I love Rocksteady. I love all the Arkham games, but now, knowing that, again, this is also a continuation of the Arkhamverse with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, am I the only one, I feel like I'm in the minority with this, that doesn't really feel too hyped of playing as the Suicide Squad in comparison to the Justice League? I feel like we took like 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Now, Rocksteady's last game, if this is confirmed to be delayed into 2023, would have been 8 years from 2015 into 2023. That's already insane enough as it is. But now that we're kind of waiting this long for Rocksteady's next big installment into their own DC universe, and playing as the Suicide Squad going up against the Justice League, in my personal opinion, isn't really that exciting of a premise. I mean, it's cool, I guess, that you're playing as the antagonists who are seen as the protagonists of this game's story, taking on a brainwashed Justice League with the Flash, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and maybe Batman might appear as the main characters we're going up against. But none of it has really gotten me too hyped for either the premise of the game or just the gameplay's structure itself. Now, granted, even though we currently are aware that Gotham Knights is not a live service game that has been confirmed by the creators behind the project, I don't believe it has been officially confirmed by anyone at Rocksteady that Suicide Squad is or is not a live service game. I think they've been very hush-hush about that entire perspective of the project. And again, that I think would be a big factor due to Marvel's Avengers, which of course, if you don't know, which you definitely should at this point, is still in debt and has not recouped its development costs of $68+ million in developer debt, which is crazy for a property as big as Avengers, which again is another massive online live service centric looter brawler. And I feel like Suicide Squad might be going in a similar direction. It's just that Rocksteady have not officially confirmed that is exactly what the genre of the game is, because they don't want to deter people from the game before it's even released. Now, I find it mainly strange that we have not received a gameplay demo for the project yet, and simply have just gotten small snippets of the story and seeing bits of the gameplay in action without getting a true understanding of what the game is. And that was the same problem again with what we saw with Marvel's Avengers. And again, knowing that I'm more of a Marvel fan versus DC, the property of the Suicide Squad just doesn't really interest me as much as I would like it to. If anything, I am way more excited for the upcoming Monolith Wonder Woman game that is, we already know, single-player centric, open world, third-person action-adventure. Great! I love that Monolith flat out confirmed exactly what the game is before we've even seen any in-engine footage, because that trailer was obviously all CGI. With Suicide Squad, we've waited 2 years right now since its main reveal in 2020. Less than 2 years if you want to be specific, but mainly from 2020 to now in 2022, getting just bits and pieces of info about what the game is and not really getting the bigger picture at hand. And now knowing the game is delayed, of course, would be a good sign, knowing that they're going to take more time to work on it to make it an even better experience, but still, in my eyes, makes me more cautious than anything else, not fully knowing as of yet what the specific structure or genre of the game is going to be. I'm not a fan of Marvel's Avengers in the slightest, and if anything, if you're going to do a team-based game handling a property like Avengers, or mainly Guardians of the Galaxy, which in my honest opinion is my game of the year of 2021, really needs to focus on the characters, the story, and the action at hand. Focusing more on these type of looter shooter, live service, Destiny-esque style games can only work in specific properties. For these superhero experiences like Spider-Man, like Marvel's Avengers, like Guardians of the Galaxy, like Gotham Knights, and now like with Suicide Squad, they really need to focus on honing in on what makes the characters so appealing. And I really hope that can be done with the story they're telling with the Suicide Squad, killing the Justice League, supposedly. But if that's all boggled down by a live service multiplayer-centric structure, even though you can play it either single player or multiplayer, it really needs to do something truly innovative and exciting in a way that will really get people invested into the gameplay and the story as a whole, not just because Rocksteady are the developers making it, which is a pretty big factor, I will admit, but that the game itself needs to be, what do you expect, a good game above everything else. And in my honest opinion, I don't really believe that anything that we have seen of this property so far has really given me the complete confidence necessary in thinking that that is the great experience that we are going to receive by the time it releases now, supposedly, in 2023. I'm really cautious, not even cautiously optimistic, but more cautious than anything else as to how exactly this game is going to turn out, but I do really respect Rocksteady as a developer. I've loved all their previous Arkham games. They seem like they do genuinely care about the Suicide Squad, but I think, again, this is where show, don't tell really is the biggest factor here. We need to see more of this game, or at least I need to see more of this game in action before I can really give a solid, definitive opinion as to whether or not I'm truly hyped or not hyped for this game. But right now, it is rather upsetting that it got delayed from this year to 2023, but hopefully that means that they can make the game an even better experience by the time it releases next year, alongside of another Game of the Year contender, in my opinion, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. But with all that said, everybody, that was kind of the more rant/ramble video I have for you today, discussing my overall opinions about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and where the game can stand by the time we see more of it, hopefully later this year, and when it releases fully, presumably next year in 2023. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below, everybody. Are you excited for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? Were you excited ever since its first trailer in 2020? Or had you kind of gotten less or more excited the more we've heard from it? Let me know. Until next time, true believers, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy. And until next time, peace out.